Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rundown, where we talk about 2A news and conservative views. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. Now, normally I do not do this program by myself. Unfortunately, today, folks, it's going to be a relatively short show. I'm going to try and go through everything with you today. I'll ask you to please forgive me dealing with, let's just say everyone in the house came down with some infectious whatever doodads or whatever it is. Spotify and watch it. You'll be able to watch the program. If you get in too many, if it's a little bit too glitchy here, if you go over to Spotify after the program is done here, we're actually recording the program as we're doing it, so we'll be uploading it there. All right, we're going to start with Hitman Industries. If you're looking to do a rebuild, an AR rebuild, and you're looking for rifle or pistol caliber barrels, guess what? All you got to do is go to hitmanindustries.net. If you are a first responder, make sure you let them know that if this is your first order, because you'll get a discount. Also, want to encourage you to check out the California Republican Assembly. That's CRA, once referred to by the President of the United States. No, not our current president, but President Ronald Reagan referred to them as the conscience of the Republican Party. They're working to help elect conservatives at all levels of government, from school board all the way up to President of the United States. So check them out today, cragop.org. And then if you're looking for a holster, no better place to go than to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG Holsters. That's helping Americans wear guns. They have the best concealed carry tactical holsters on the market. If you're looking for, whether you're hunting or fishing or you're camping or whatever it is, the place you got to go is uscombatgear.com. That's uscombatgear.com. Great prices, phenomenal selection, fast shipping. Once again, veteran owned and operated. Check them out today, uscombatgear.com. All right, let's excuse me. Let's go ahead and start into today's news. If you've been looking at two of the news, then you know that there is a parade on its way to our southern border. Okay, maybe it's not a parade, but it is a big caravan to the U.S. border is the largest in more than a year, as it was revealed more than 730,000 asylum seekers have been encountered at the southern border since October alone. The hordes of migrants, primarily from Cuba, Haiti, and Honduras, set off for the United States on Sunday, walking more than 9 miles from the Mexican southern border city Tapachula to get to Alvarado Obregón. An estimated 8,000 asylum seekers are en route, marking the largest migrant caravan approaching the U.S. since June of 2022. Now, I think something that's really important for us to understand when we understand what we talk about when they're talking about asylum seekers, right? What we're talking about is people who wish to illegally enter our country. Well, the reason why I'm saying they're illegally entering our country, number one, they may be seeking asylum, but most of them are not people who actually are seeking asylum. Coming to the United States and they'll ask them, are you seeking asylum? Are you in danger where you're from? And they'll say, no, we want jobs. They want to come to the United States to work. You even had... there was one story that I kept replaying over at Fox News. Help us. Demand. These are people who have absolutely no rights here in the United States. These are people who, quite frankly, are not fleeing political oppression. They are fleeing economic issues. They're fleeing poverty. And I don't blame them. Stay in Mexico policy needs to be reinstated. I think if we want to talk about how you address this, if people from other countries know, because if they know that when they get to the United States or they get to the southern border, they're not going to the Democratic Party that's offering all of these things, all of these enticements. I mean, you've got the Biden who is sending government officials, who are sending people from his cabinet to go and talk. Surprised when they show up. If you're going to continue to offer them a reason to come to the United States, then Mexico's attitude is, one would think, it's really, really basic. We need to remove the incentive for people to come to this, which was was a lot lower under Donald Trump? Yes, he does, because he had the stay in Mexico policy. You're not going to get to go to. You're not going to get all these things that you're going to get for free. Now, when Democrats want to just simply spend the money on people to process them as they come into the country illegally, it's easier for them or faster for them to come in free, just so you don't see the long lines. That's it. That's all they're interested. They just don't. Once again, they just don't seem to get it. Anyway, so now there's that. Let's move. They look. I guess they look you up or do whatever, but you fill out some information, and then they give you a court date. They give you a card with a court date, and they say, "Here, show up at immigration court on legally released, given a 2031 ICE check-in date." That's not even a court date. That's just a check-in date. Let's see here. A Colombian woman who entered the United States illegally by crossing the border in El Paso, Texas, was released and told to check with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in New York City in 2031. The woman's attorney, Matthew Culkin, told Fox News in the nearly 30 years of immigration law he has practiced, the woman's release with a check-in date 8 years from now is one of the most shocking things he has ever seen. Culkin said his client is a legitimate asylum seeker with what he believes is an airtight case. But because immigration cases are backlogged so much with illegitimate asylum claims, he is not sure he and his team will ever get the chance to argue their case at their check-in date 8 years from now. So what he's saying now is not only is he concerned because they have a check-in date 8 years from now, but he's like, we probably won't even be able to argue our case then. What he believes is going to happen is if we get there and we process at the border. Think about this. What's funny was Trump was president for half of that fiscal year, right? But think about that though. That even with that, they broke the record is the message that we are sending. And I don't understand why control of our southern border. It's only going to happen when we start actually, enforcing the law. Which big year for constitutional carry. That's right. This past year, 2023, was a phenomenal year for constitutional carry. And I'll log in to the Dern website. Right. Update settings. My apologies, folks. Carry a firearm without having to actually go and get a permit. It was phenomenal. It was basically a phenomenal victory overall for the United States. And I don't understand why this is not letting. Anyway, it was a big year. A number of states actually added constitutional carry, which is helpful, especially when you consider the fact that we also got the like California. We've seen that they've gone out of their way to then work against those fundamental rights. In this particular case, California thing. So anyway, big year for constitutional carry. I apologize for not having more together on that one, but unfortunately, my pooter is not and they have almost no gun violence. Well, okay, doesn't mean they have no gun violence, but they have a lot less gun violence. But what they will not tell you is the amount of violence. Gang violence in London has seen knife crime reportedly surge at its fastest rate in 5 years, with over 40 incidents logged with police per day, according to an analysis conducted by top British broadsheet. A report from the Telegraph newspaper has claimed that over 200 gangs are operating in the British capital, with around 46,000 members at their disposal, some of whom are as young as 10 years old. The prevalence of criminal gangs and inevitable turf wars and other disputes have continued to increase violence in the streets of London, with knife crime rising at its quickest pace in 5 years and gun crime rising by 6% over the last year. So far this year, there have been over 90 homicides recorded in the city, 200 of whom are minors. 20 of whom are minors. The paper revealed that the Metropolitan Police are currently receiving an average of 43 reports of knife crime incidents per day. Now, here's the thing, folks, and this goes back to what I always said. We do not have a quote-unquote gun violence. There's no such thing as gun violence. There's no such thing as knife violence, even though I put that in the thing, because that's what they'll refer to. Majority of violent incidents, of homicides, of attempted homicides. For example, marijuana. You're still seeing gang violence surrounding it because really that are taking a risk are the people who are selling it. I don't know. It's just, we have to talk about how we address violence and the desires that they have. You know, they want to legalize drugs. They want drugs to be legal. I don't know why they're involved in drug trafficking. Then I think we can start to undo. Use discount code The Rundown. All caps, no spaces. Get your hog holster today. Alrighty then, let's bring these up. We only got 2 of them here for you today. This first one, well, this is in honor of our good friend Joe Biden. And I have to say, you know, people have blamed Republicans and called us, you know, there might be something to their point. This is a picture of the White House. And then underneath it, it says, nothing more I'd like to see than a senior dementia patient get kicked out of public housing so a billionaire could move back in. Gee, I wonder what they are talking about. I wonder what senior dementia patient they are referring to. Any answers? Any suggestions? Anybody? Bueller? Nope, nothing? Okay. Well, in case you're wondering, let's just say it's this guy.
Character is on the ballot. Compassion is on the ballot. Decency, science, democracy, they're all on the ballot.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, that's the guy that we are looking. Get your rifle and pistol caliber barrels today. California Republican Assembly, the conscience of the Republican Party. Check out CRA. Then you've got hog holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use discount code The Rundown. Okay. We very much appreciate you, and we will holler at you later.
Character is on the ballot. Compassion is on the ballot. Decency, science, democracy, they're all on the ballot.